What's up, garden friends? It's a lovely day. Been having so many of those lately. We had a nice breeze and some mist from the fan and the sprinkler. Oh, Jeff here. Everybody, hope you're doing well. I'm great. I have some new plants here. This was going to be an unboxing, and I decided let's just move it along and skip the unboxing. Everything here is from Plant Delights Nursery, and I did film the unboxing roughly. You know, they were in a box. The cactus succulent type plants, spiky plants, they're wrapped in paper with some newspaper shreds inside, and the other plants, they're inside of a pull-out cardboard box with little tabs you push to get them out. I've done a lot of unboxings from Plant Delights, so I figured we can move past that. You can go watch one of the other ones if you really want to see the packaging, which you might want to, because the shipping from Plant Delights, I love this nursery, but oh my gosh. I have 4 new plants to show everybody today. Shipping was $53, I believe. It was something like that. Where's my invoice? I don't see a shipping cost on there, but it was within that vicinity. Quite pricey. Happy to support Plant Delights, though. They're a juniper level botanical garden. They do a lot of research, so that's just a disclaimer. If you want to know more about the shipping, check out the other videos. When I order from Plant Delights, I'm always excited to share what I've gotten because they have some really fun, unusual plants, and I know 2 of these are plants I've wanted for a long time. I actually had one of them. That didn't go so well, so trying again. And the other one was an impulse that I don't know how it's going to go because it's an extremely, well, it's said to be an extremely difficult plant to keep if you don't live within a very warm tropical environment, but I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll talk about that when we get to that plant. Let's start with the beautiful succulent plants up front. I have been on a Mangave kick this year, and Plant Delights had one that I thought was just beautiful. And it's this one right here. It's called Mangave Permanent Wave. 7B to 11. That's just their guess. Here's the thing. 18 inches tall by 36 inches. This is a big one. And it's beautiful. So this looks like an Agave ovedifolia, which is the whale's tongue agave. They have really broad leaves on them. And this is supposed to have a really nice silvery to white hue in it. It just looked really, really cool. I have an ovedifolia agave, but you know, the thing is with an agave, they grow much, much more slowly. Where on earth was this? How did they get that in there? So that's the nice thing about a Mangave, is you get, I don't know if it's quite hybrid vigor. I think it probably is. They grow much more quickly, and they can take more water, so they're not as fussy. What's not told about that? This is a nice sized plant. It's got some fun curly shape to it, and it is bulging. Bulging at the sides. This is ready for a repot. In fact, we should probably just go ahead and do that. I have some soil over there in the Gorilla Cot, and I have some Gorilla Cot. What? What was that? The Gorilla Cart has some soil in it, and I have some pots lined up, so should probably do that. Where I live, 6B, 7A. Not going to be trying this outside, but it'll make for a nice house plant. A very large house plant, but it'll be really cool looking. Looks like it has some spikiness to it. Some Mangaves tend to be more soft, which can be one of the nice things about them. Is, you know, there's some Agaves out there that are lethal, huge spines. This is softer than an ovedifolia, but the spikes at the ends of the leaves, those are pretty dang sharp. Look at that one. Look at it. It's pretty though, isn't it? It's a pretty spike, but yeah, it'll get you. Big, beautiful, rosette shape, broad, wide, just cool looking foliage. I'm all about really big, broad, cool looking foliage. And the tone. I can't wait to see that with that color that's in it. This one's still small, but that's the nice about an agave, right? Like I said, they grow fairly quickly, so it won't be too long until this is a nice, larger size. Even when I would think, yeah, when it doubles the size, it should be looking pretty dang cool. Okay, we'll go to the plant right behind there. It's a beauty. A cute little guy. Look at that. Look at those leaves. This entire thing is one leaf. Not up here. That's not the leaf. That's not a stem. This is all one leaf. Cold hardy. Awesome plant. This is an Amorphophallus konjac. That's called Gordon's Gold. I think it says 36 inches, 30 inches, part sun to shade. I usually have fairly good luck with these in moderately dry shade once they've been established. Look at the stems on this one. Isn't that neat? Some light freckling. And that gold tone is awesome. They have these nice chartreusey green leaves. When I say leaf, I'm referring to the whole thing. Complex. This one's still a baby. When this gets bigger, remember, 30, 36 inches tall, so it'll be like, I don't know, up here somewhere. Right around that height, tucked back into the shade, part shade. That's going to really draw the eye back. I have some shade in my garden that is just pathetic. And I've been trying to work some lighter colored plants, some more variegation into it this year, because like I said, it draws your eye back and it just lightens the whole area up. And I think it's so beautiful. I have another one of these konjacs that's called Leo Song. I'll show it to you. And it has a very light colored stem on it with freckling on it, but the foliage isn't this nice gold color. And I think that this will stand out better. But the Leo Song, I liked it because it has that wider stem on it, so it also helps draw your eyes back into the shade and just lightens things up. It's just a beautiful plant. These will bloom. They put up a really long, I want to say, they vary on the konjacs from 30 to like 42 inches. Just one big spath. A beautiful flower that just smells horrible. The corpse flower, it's in the same family, right? Amorphophallus. But this is the konjac. Konjac has a lot of other purposes too. And a lot of ornamental value too. Very pretty. I like to plant these up on a slope, on a hill, because you can, at least I find, appreciate their form a lot better when you're looking into them instead of down at the top. Though the tops of the plant does look really neat. They have very interesting foliage. But when you can look straight into them, we'll go look at the other ones. You can see what I'm talking about. Told you, I got Mangaves coming out of my ears this year. Okay. Here's that shady area, and can you see? There's the Leo Song. Look at that. Isn't that just an absolutely beautiful plant? And it demands... Now, pretend the caladium's not there. That's not a perennial. Neither is the Albo Monstera that I have laid out here. I'm trying to get some nodes to root down into the soil, not in the native. I have like a tray laid out. Don't worry about all that. Mostly everything else up here is perennial. The Peticides, what are you? Viburnums, but I like to pop some annuals in for some color. I'm trying to build up on the perennials though, so that's why the Leo Song is in here. Let me come in closer. You can really see the color on that. And just how neat they look when you're looking at them from straight in. They do look really cool from above. Can you see? Can you see it? Hopefully you could. Sorry, my mic is in and out, so I took it off. So the audio gets weird if I hold the camera too far away. Gorgeous plant. That's the Leo Song. This one right here, the Gordon's Gold. That church. Oh, that's going to be so pretty. I was thinking about putting this on the other side of the container over here, but I think that this viburnum, that for some reason I keep wanting to call it ligularia. That's why I stopped when I was about to say it before, is because my mouth was going to say ligularia, and that's not what this is. I think that the viburnum will grow into it. This is when it's really taken on some size. It's in its third year starting to grow. So I'll probably just bump this one back a little bit further over here towards that pine tree, which I think would be better. There's more depth that direction, so to have something that lighter color back further, I think that would look really nice. And it's a very fun and unusual perennial. They say 7A on here. So I've been growing the konjac Amorphophallus here for, I don't even know, 15, 20 years. I've had different varieties, mostly really just the regular konjac, which is a smidge more cold hardy. But my garden has experienced plenty of temperatures below -10 Fahrenheit, and without protection. The regular konjac has always come back, but this one says 7A. I believe the Leo Song was also when it said 7A, and that might just be that because it's a special cultivar, maybe they lose some cold hardiness. I don't know. We're going to find out, because I'm a fake 7A. I'm a new 7A, which is not really a 7A. The new math is stupid. Look at how it's so beautiful in the shade with the dappled light coming through onto it. Should be enough sun for it. I hope. The Leo Song seems very happy, but yeah. Doesn't mean this one will be, but hopefully it will. I think it's going to look really pretty back there. Remember, 30 to 36 inches tall of just those big, complex leaves. The whole thing's a leaf, but you know what I mean. It's going to look so cool. I'm really, really excited about that one. The voodoo lilies, the whole family, they're just really cool. I have another one over here. It's not really what the point of this video is about, but just while we're on the topic, Strontium giganteum, highly highly recommend this one. Look at those leaves. Really big, exotic. They have a tropical look to them, and they come back flawlessly, but very late in the year. They don't generally start showing any signs of growth for me until mid to late June. This year it wasn't until about mid to late July. That's because we had a very cool spring. Okay, let's move on. That was fun, though. I love the Amorphophallus. It's just a fun group of plants. I'm always a sucker for anything with a nice rosette shape, which is one of the reasons I like agaves so much, and mangaves, and echeverias, and sempervivums, and even just artichokes. I don't like the way they taste, but I think they look really cool, especially in the garden. Hey, how you doing? Is it time to take a break for turbo and do some turbo time? Oh, that's the segue into another agave, and look at the variegation on this one, and just the shape. That is an absolutely beautiful plant that they sent. Of course, it's going to have some blemishes and some breakage. It was shipped. That's to be expected. But it's just stunning. Oh, it's got a little baby coming up from the bottom, too. It's not overly root-bound. I don't think it's root-bound at all. Pot doesn't feel very tight. Usually with an agave, I repot them fairly quickly because they tend to have pretty extensive root systems when they're in a smaller container anyway. But this one, I could leave it in here, but I don't think that'd be wise. We still have several weeks of decent weather left, so it would make sense to go ahead and get it repotted. You might be wondering what it is. It's a desmettiana quicksilver. It's a more tropical type, right? So this one right here, hard frost, that would be something to avoid, right? I've had desmettianas that can take a light frost, but you really got to be careful. If they have wet feet, bad idea. The plant, they usually just die. So that's something to avoid. 36 inches tall by 36 inches wide, and part sun. Oh, it says part sun. Right, because of the variegation. Duh. Putting a picture up right now. Check out that variegation. Isn't it beautiful? I think it's lovely. You can somewhat see the variegation on this one right here. I mean, you see variegation, but it isn't to the extreme that you were seeing in the picture. I don't know if that's better or not. Do we go to the sun or into the shade? Sun is usually better. The angle this time of year can be difficult to work with. Just a beautiful plant. I love the desmettianas. I have a few other types that I really, really like that or also from Plant Delights. Oh, and by the way, that Leo song, Amorphophallus, that was also from Plant Delights. This back here, I have two of them. Aren't they beautiful? These are Desmettiana Galactic Traveler. That's what I couldn't remember because I have a beautiful hosta. Those are done. That's I think called Time Travelers. I was trying to remember which was which. These have a beautiful bluish tone to them with a light yellow margin on the outside of the variegation, and they are tough because they're agaves. Just don't let them get too wet, and they're pretty much fine. Not too much shade either, but they don't skip a beat in the wintertime when I have them inside. They're just fantastic, and these actually could probably use a repot this year, but I think I'll more than likely just wait until next spring. I got these from Plant Delights last summer, and they were about the same size as that other one when I got them. So this is how much growth they put on in one season. Oh, multiple seasons across the year. Got another cool one over here, hanging out with my nephew's inflatable lobster. This one right here, oh, it's so pretty. Very, very pretty one. Oh, with a weed coming right out of the pot. Get that out of there. There's the variegation on this one. I should move this one to more sun, actually. Angle of the sun is different this time of year, and things aren't getting quite the same light as they were, so I'm glad that I pulled this one out. This one is called Joe Hoke, or Joan Hoke? Joe Hoke. Yeah. And this one has more of a multicolored variegation where it's really light, and then green, and then that creamy yellow with a darker green margin on it. And this one has been more vigorous than those Galactic Travelers, and yeah, could probably also use a repot. But again, this time of year, I'll probably just wait till next spring to do that. So another fun, beautiful Desmettiana agave to add to the collection. And it's hard to pick a favorite, but this one might be up there. When it comes to variegations, I like things with very cool tones. I don't like a lot of loud yellow hues. So this is, I think, it's going to be lovely. It's so pretty. All right, and now for the one that I think will be fine, because I know a good amount about growing them, but people make it sound like it's a really difficult one to grow. But from everything I've read, I don't think it'll be you want to know what it is? You probably do. Let me just get to the point. Amorphophallus titanum. You know, the giant corpse flower. The one that get bulbs that are absolutely massive on them. And the flower, you know, can be several feet tall. That inflorescence just towering above everybody and smelling awful. Well, you know, they take 7 to 10 years at the minimum to get them to bloom. Sometimes much longer than that. So it'll be a minute till it even gets to that point. These were once touted as being like an impossible plant, these corpse flowers. But it really seems more like it's something where you just need to pay close attention to the plant. Probably not a good idea for beginners, but to just, you know, read up on them and not overdo things. This is the kind of plant where I feel like I could smother it. I'm going to be the worst enemy to this plant. It's just my practice of wanting to just baby the heck out of it, when that's going to be the wrong move. Keeping it away from cold, also very important. These guys like it warm and humid. So I have a grow space that I try and keep fairly warm during the winter months. And also I know not to expect a dormancy every single year. Sometimes the titanum will grow and grow and grow for a few years and then take a dormancy for, you know, however long it wants to. There's different care required for those different periods too. I'm not going to go on and on and on about the care for them when this is going to be somewhat of a learning curve here, right? Because I haven't grown the titanum before. I've grown other Amorphophallus as like houseplants before, but this one is something special. They get absolutely huge. The height, 180 inches. That's going to look so cool, though. You might want to actually see the plant, I suppose. Let me go ahead and bring it over here. Here it is. This is a very, very nice plant for the size that it is and the price that it is. These are not necessarily hard to come by anymore, the corpse flowers. At least, that probably depends on where you live, but I know I see them all over the place on Etsy, and a few other places do sell them, but the cost can be pretty prohibitive. And I was just thinking, well, I really like Plant Delight, so if I'm going to spend the money on one, I would like for it to go to them and their practices with their research and everything like that. Not that there's anything wrong with people who are selling the bulbs and whatnot on Etsy, but I can't guarantee sourcing. I don't know where you got that from. I don't know if you grew that out. I don't know what the case is, and these are not doing so great in the wild. So people reproducing these responsibly is important, and it's not necessarily the easiest plant to reproduce through seed anyway, because you need a male and a female to get viable seed out of them, and they flower so infrequently that getting a whole bunch to flower at the same time to do that pollination can be tricky. The botanicals and conservation groups are usually in contact when theirs are in flower at the same time, and I'm sure they have some type of like pollen exchange or something that they will hopefully attempt, I would think, but I don't know that for sure. Not for certain. I just know that I like Plant Delights, and this is a plant that I can trust because it's from them, and you know, their growing environment, they're not growing in like a big huge glass dome like my botanical gardens are. There's several corpse flowers there. Octavia is the most famous one. She's been blooming a bunch, it feels like, over the last few years, and that's not an environment that I can replicate here. Plant Delights, it's hoop houses with, you know, plastic on them. I don't know where they keep them all year long. I didn't ask them about that, but I would imagine that they probably keep them in their big, you know, hoop houses with the plastic that are heated, of course, during the winter time. But that's still, it's just not the same as a great big glass dome that have like rivers and waterfalls in them. Do you know what I mean? So those are genetics that I just thought would be the smartest ones to start off with. I'm not going to be getting a whole bunch of different voodoo lilies. These get big. They require a very large container, and they're very, very, very heavy too. So one will be enough for me. Well, I don't know. We'll see how this one does. Maybe in 2 or 3 years I'll decide to get another one. You know, I wouldn't want to be too far apart in age, because what if they were to bloom at the same time? Then I could cross pollen. Okay, that's ridiculous. Don't need to go into all of that. Those are the plants. Fun plants, really beautiful plants, all plants that I am very excited about. Thought maybe you would enjoy hearing about them, especially since, you know, these are additions to things that I already have, so it's just part of an expanding collection of things, right, with the desmettiana, just agaves in general, mangaves, and then those voodoo lilies. Love them. Love the Amorphophallus. Comment down below, tips, tricks, suggestions, always appreciated. Do you have some favorite variegations, varieties with your desmettianas and the Amorphophallus Mangaves. There are so many fun Mangaves to choose from. Hope the fan hasn't been obnoxious. If it was, I'm sorry, but it's still warm enough that I can't really film without having it on. The camera overheats so fast this time of year. All right, I'm gonna take these guys over to my gorilla cart and start doing some repotting, and I'm sure you'll be seeing them around in vlogs and garden tours and whatnots in the future. Hope everybody's doing well, having a great day, a great life, and everything's going absolutely beautiful for you. And of course, as always, and most importantly, everybody, keep on growing. Sloppy at this. Bye-bye.